SupaKnowVa.
Chinese guys tried to stop me, and he was like, "Oh," he saw you answered, and he's like, "Oh, never mind." I was like, "Okay." Like, but what did that mean? Like, what did, if you hadn't said anything, Paulo, I was like, what would have happened to me?
I told the guy, I was like, he's with me. Like, I literally told him that, and he goes, oh, yeah. and they let him pass through.
Yeah, I was like,
this was in Japan?
This is in China. We were leaving the airport, and I'm like thinking, like when the guy, like, I had my luggage just scanned, I grabbed my stuff, and there were some like Africans walking through or something. But when I was getting ready to walk out through the door, and then one, like, the authorities just like put his hand out to stop me, and I was like, uh-oh. What? And it didn't help that I had a bag full of hentai in my but,
yeah. That might have been the problem, Keith.
That's why I'm like, oh my God, like, what did I do? What's going on? But then, yeah, Paulo's like, he's like, hey, Keith, what's up? And the guy turned and looked at him, and he's like, oh, okay, never mind. Come on. I was like, really? I was going to show him my bag. He was like, no, come on. I was like, okay.
Did he speak English? Or he just waved through?
Yeah, they speak a little bit of English.
A little bit English, but he was like, go ahead. Yeah, but he was like, he was like, no, he was like, okay, and just like kind of waved me through, and I was like, okay, man. I was like, I do not.
Yeah, you're about to go into the interrogation room.
China's not the place I want to be. China's not the place I wanted to stay.
I got interrogated when I tried to get a passport to go to the Philippines. And I was interrogated for like an hour about why I wanted to go to the Philippines. It was very weird.
Is that when you got there, or before you left?
When was
this was before I left. This was right after that terrorist attack happened in the resort in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
When they kidnapped all those people and took them into the forest or whatever. Yeah. You never heard about that?
No.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a big. The U.S. FBI had to be involved because there was a group of Americans who got taken.
Yeah, they kidnapped them into the forest, and they were like in the forest for like 2 years or whatever. They were taking them from place to place to place, and people were slowly dying because they were in the forest.
Was this in the Philippines or America?
Philippine military. Yeah, and they shot up all the terrorists and everywhere. Yeah. I think like 4 people of the 12 survived or something. They were crazy like that.
It was crazy.
So there was a big travel warning. So I canceled my trip.
Well, I'll guarantee you that there were no significant events when Keith and I went through that Chinese, immigration.
Yeah. It was, I think it was just getting that day visa was just like, I think the guy was asking some questions or something like that. Like, why are you here? I was like, I'm just trying to go to my hotel and go to sleep and then come back.
So you had a layover in China?
Yeah, it was an overnight layover.
What part of China do you know?
Beijing.
Hong Kong?
Beijing.
I want to go to Hong Kong so bad.
Oh, if it was Hong Kong, I would have gone to town. I want to see Hong Kong. I want to see.
I want to go to Hong Kong.
So that's on my list.
If you guys want to go to Hong Kong, let me know because I want to go.
Oh my gosh!
I heard it's great.
Heard the passport, bro.
Yeah. It's a big mixing bowl.
Yeah, you guys have fun with that.
It's an international business hub. So to me, the weirdest thing about diversity, what I was trying to say earlier, it's like when you see a Spanish guy that was raised in Japan and he speaks fluent Japanese.
That was the weirdest thing. Go ahead, Paulo. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to reference a movie I saw where there was there's a couple who go to this restaurant and a Caucasian man starts serving them. He's the waiter. And he starts speaking in English, but with a very thick Thai accent. Mm-hmm. He's like, can I take your order? Like, in a really weird accent. And the couple gets offended. They're like, why are you making fun of the Thai people? Or there are actual, Thai speakers in this area. Why would you even make fun of those? And then the waiter starts crying. He starts like, no, I didn't mean to. And he still has the accent. And then he like runs because he just can't take all the criticism. and then an Asian Thai person comes out and he goes, "What did you say to my son?" Did you and it's the Caucasian man who's crying. He's been raised by the Thai family.
Yeah, it's like adopted or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, when we were in Japan, I went to a KFC in Gotanda. When I got off the train, it was like it was early in the morning, kind of like, or maybe like 10 or 11 o'clock. And like, since I don't speak that well of Japanese, there was nothing but just Japanese restaurants that I could see, like straight Japanese. And I was like, I'm not going to try and risk trying to order stuff from these places or whatever. And so right there, I saw a KFC. So I was like, okay, I'll do the KFC. I'm just trying to avoid all these American.
Black man in KFC.
Yeah, I was trying.
That tales all this time.
I don't really like KFC that much, but I was trying to avoid all the Japanese, all the like American style food restaurants in Japan. But that was like, I just needed something right then. And I walk in and I'm expecting to see Japanese people, or Japanese person at the register. It was an Indian woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did she speak fluent Japanese?
She was speaking Japanese, and I was like, I didn't know y'all were here.
So was she raised there, or was she born there, raised there, or was she?
I think it's she looks like she was probably immigrant. Had to come to Japan I don't know how you actually like how Japan is. I don't know how you actually
really
get there.
hard.
She was just like
it's really hard to get a citizenship.
But
even just the visa, right?
But it's funny. I saw when the Indian Prime Minister visited there like recently, there was a large population of Indian people in Japan coming, like wanting to see him and like happy to see him. I was like, I didn't know there was that many people there. Granted, there's like 99% Japanese, but I was like, I didn't expect that many Indians to be, and didn't expect any Indians kind of in Japan.
Indian culture seems to be pretty big there, as well as like in South Korea too. Indian culture seems to be pretty big in South Korea and Japan.
Are we talking about Bollywood, or are we actually talking about Indian culture?
Well, beyond Bollywood. Bollywood's like
difference.
it's beyond that. Honestly, from what I've been seeing on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. So it's
I saw a video where a bunch of people were blindfolded, and they had to determine which one was not black. And all of them were black except for one dude.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I think we saw, and the white dude actually grew up in a black neighborhood, so he has like
he talks so accent. Black and nobody knew. Yeah,
and he knows all the references. Like, that guy's white.
Yeah.
I've gotten told that on the phone. Like when I worked for one of my jobs, I was on the phone. I was talking to a guy, and then the guy came into the store and it's like, "Hey, I'm looking for Keith." And I say, "It's me." And he's like, "You're black?" It's like, "You don't sound." He's like, "You did not." Was not. I think
that is telling.
Keith, I got that too.
What do you mean I'm black? Like,
I think if I remember right. Yeah, I remember if I remember right, he was a black guy, but he was like, you did not sound black over the phone. I was like, okay.
Ouch.
What does that mean?
It means you didn't use Ebonics.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
A guy called for my sister, and he's like, "Yo, may I speak to?" I was like, "May I ask who's calling?" He's like, "Yo, this is Chad." And I was like, "Could you hold, please?" And so she came and got on the phone. He's like, "Who's that white guy that answered the phone?" I was like, "White guy."
Yo. I don't get that.
Like, just because I said, "Could you hold, please?" or whatever, I'm a white guy.
Yeah, manners. I dare you.
Yeah. Even in high school, I got called an Oreo. Like it was like, I don't name. Yeah. And this wasn't this was by black people. They called me an Oreo.
So that's generally where it's going to come from. Sense. Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? Like, go ahead, Kyle.
It's a disparity between like being in the hood and versus, like speaking Ebonics versus speaking in regular English.
I'm one of those people, and I get where Ebonics came from. I get it. Like there's the Southern twang, there's the Ebonics like speech, but I want to abolish the made up words. I want to get rid of them. I don't want to hear about like, there's some like phrases that I'm like, why are we talking like this? This is code. Like we should stop talking in code, and it happens so much more in Ebonics than it is in any other type of accent or like.
Well, I don't like the word Ebonics because it's like that's a made up word, like you're talking about. Yeah. So it's just it's slang. It's a certain way people were brought up to speak or whatever. It's regional.
I have one request, Paulo, and your goal to get rid of all this slang and stuff. Can we at least
my goal?
Can we at least keep the phrase "turned up"? Because I actually thought that was a Christian term. I did not realize that. I thought
Christian
it was.
term.
Wait, what?
He just wants to make himself feel better.
Turn your face to the Lord.
Yeah, I thought when I heard someone say the word "turned up," I thought that was actually a church thing. You know, I thought that's what it meant. I asked someone.
What does it mean? What does it mean in church? Like in Christianity? What does it
mean?
You
mean what I No, it's not. What I thought it meant is like, you know, you got the Holy Spirit flowing through you. You know, like you're really into it. That's what I thought it meant. And then I was told that no, that's not.
I don't think there's any slang that comes out of a church. There's no church slang. So
it's always the church taking. It's never the church making its
own
what I'm
saying.
Thing, right?
They've never made any slang. You know, I don't think white people ever made any slang. Maybe
they do. The Southerns.
Okay. Tubular, gnarly.
I was gonna say surfer talk.
Yeah, surfer talk. Yeah.
Well, the Southerners do that too, right? Like the Southerners. The Southerners make up stuff. The Valley Girls make it's all regional stuff. It's like all code. But
okay,
like
Valley Girl talk
always
is like this, like, right?
I think that's actually gotten integrated into everybody. Everybody talks like that though now.
Yeah, but like in the South, right? Like, oh man, that barbecue's good. I'm gonna smack my grandma. Like, come on, like, you know, those kind of things. It's like, all right.
She put her foot in it. What is that? What? Put her foot in it. I don't want that.